Here we are again. This time we're up against a rogue, and I'm going to assume that it's a miracle rogue variant. I haven't really seen many aggro rogues or tempo rogues running around, and I remember in my write-up section I briefly mentioned that a lot of times you want to mulligan away expensive cards unless they're very specific to a matchup, and I think the reason why I decided to include this matchup is because I think this illustrates that point uh, perfectly, actually. Like, normally I wouldn't want to keep Harrison or Loatheb because they're expensive and they're not really needed, but Loatheb is like a game winner against Miracle Rogue, and Harrison doesn't quite have the same impact, but it can really set them back, especially if you can get you can pick off like a deadly poison or something like that. So here I just play the Unstable Ghoul because I want to see if I can bait him into like using like a backstab, or in this case he uses a deadly poison, and this is actually pretty good for me because I'm not going to give him anything that he'll want a deadly poison next turn. So this is going to set up for my Harrison Jones really nicely, unless he decides to just attack me in the face for 3. Now, the reason why I played Shield Block is because a lot of cases you want to save Shield Block for Shield Slam. And also, if you armor up, like Shield Block always represents 5 armor at no matter what point in the game you play it, but you're not always going to get to armor up. But the thing is, this matchup, you don't always have time to clog your hand up. Like, you don't always have time to spend 3 mana. Like, you need to be doing other things, especially because at some point in the game they're going to sap one of your creatures. So I just want to get Shield Block out of my hand, get that 5 armor, and dig myself deeper through my deck. And I do get to pick off his Deadly Poison weapon, which is fantastic. And now he also has to deal with a 5/4. So if he has Eviscerate, that sucks, but if he doesn't, then fine with me. Okay, so no Eviscerate, which is pretty nice. And now here, I have a few options, but I go Sludge Belcher because, for one, Sludge Belcher kills off his Earthen Ring. And also, I don't want to play Loatheb quite yet. Basically, the best time to play Loatheb is they'll go Gadgets and Auctioneer Conceal on turn 6, because that's their ideal turn 6. And then Warriors are usually like, oh crap, what can I do? I have nothing, there's no way I can deal with this. Then you just play Loatheb. And basically, they have a 4/4 Auctioneer, but they can't play any of their spells. And then you just execute it, Shield Slam it, Death Bite it, run a minion into it and kill it. So they'll essentially get no value off their Auctioneer. That's the best time to play Loatheb. Because if I played Loatheb right now, he just wouldn't play an Auctioneer, and then he'll just wait a turn and then go nuts with his Auctioneer later. But it looks like he doesn't have Gadgets and Auctioneer quite yet, or it's just not a good time to play it. Like, maybe he has it but no Conceal, so he just saps and clears my board. But he's at 20 health, which is... Okay, well, he has another Earthen Ring, so 23 health is pretty good for him, but I do have a Death Bite and a Fiery War Axe to start going face if I want to, and I also have a Rag, so I have a lot of burst damage in my hand, but I kind of just want to take control of the board again with a Sludge Belcher, so hopefully he doesn't have a second sap. And wow, okay, so he has Auctioneer, Backstab. So yeah, I'm definitely going to have to play Loatheb next turn. Another Backstab? Okay, this isn't good. So I think he's had a pretty ideal hand. He has Auctioneer, he has Conceal, he has a bunch of spells to go with it. Like, this is like the perfect hand he could have, but this is just going to show how good Loatheb is in this matchup and why I want to keep it my opening hand, because having Loatheb is single-handedly wins me this match, basically. So yep, Loatheb, and since I have 2 weapons and I want to kill him with either Rag or hopefully Gromish if I draw, I'm just going to start going face. If I was lower life total, then I would have armored up instead of played my weapon, but my life is pretty safe right now. And if he decides not to trade his Auctioneer into my Loatheb, then I can Cruel Taskmaster execute and then deal 5 more damage with Loatheb, which would almost assure that he's going to die to Rag or Grom later in the game. But right now I don't have Gromish yet, so I'm kind of trying to set up for a Ragnaros. Alright, so let's see what he has. Blood Mage. Like, he's kind of locked up. There's not much he can play. Yeah, he spent his entire turn to play a Sinister Strike and a Blood Mage Thalnos. He does get me down pretty low, but a lot of these decks, since the nerf to Leroy, They don't really have a lot of um, they don't have as much burst to be scared of. They're kind of more value oriented, just by getting a lot of value off auctioneer and then killing you off with cold bloods and whatnot. Some versions do play shadow steps and arcane golems I've seen, but even then, I'm still pretty far out of the range of that. In here, I really wish I had like an armor smith, but I kill the Thalnos to maybe make Blade Flurry worse if he has, I don't know, like Perdition's Blade into Blade Flurry, which would pretty much wipe my whole board, something like that. And I have so much damage in my hand, I didn't really need to go face there. And I also figure that if he spends his turn doing whatever he can to clear my whole board, then it means he probably didn't play anything that I care about myself, and then I'll just drop Rag and dome him into face for 8. Okay, so Fan of Knives. Oh man, I wish I had that. I wish I had the Armor Smith earlier, but that's fine. So he drew Deadly Poison off Fan of Knives, and I don't understand this because he ends up Blade Flurrying. Basically, he just gave me an extra card. He didn't need to attack my my Unstable Ghoul. But I don't think it would have been relevant either way. Like, whether or not he did that would not win or lose him the game. Like, he's pretty screwed here. And I could have played Rag there, but he's still dead to Rag next turn. And this way, I'm stacking up so much armor, I'll have enough to shield slam whatever he plays. If he plays like an Azure Drake, I can shield slam it, get out of the way, attack his face, and then play Rag. So it's essentially the same thing. So second Fan of Knives. Yeah, I don't think he can possibly win from this point. And basically, I just want to show this matchup because it really demonstrates how good Loatheb and Harrison Jones are in the matchup. And my opponent had the perfect Gadgetzan, 3 spells, and Conceal, and we still won that game, or this game. So yeah, pretty nice matchup. We were very obviously. I had a very good hand and everything. Loatheb really won me the game, but I think this is a very good demonstration on how good a couple cards in your deck can really help out a matchup. So thanks for watching, and I'll see you for the next match.